Just because I've been here only a few months, think that I can just get away with pushing me around. I'll show them someday. Someday they'll get what they deserve.
The technical journal will be getting here. Postmen are always so damn slow.
Praise unto Karis.
Okay, chamber pot's brown, flower pot's blue. Chamber pot's brown, flower pot's blue. Got it.
Evening to you. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Arrested anyone lately?
I caught a thief red-handed. Smashed his face right into the cobblestones.